kill two birds with one stone. We're going to do my August wrap-up, talk about what books I read in the month of August, and then my September TBR. So we have a lot to cover in this video, so let's go ahead and get started. So if you do not know, I use a bingo card to help determine what books I read for the month. And this bingo card is through Destiny Sidwell, who is a BookTubers Discord server. So if you would like to join that Discord server, it's like a book club. You get recommendations, there's a question of the week, there's reading sprints, all kinds of stuff. Really great community. If you want to join, I will link it down below if you want to check it out. And every month they have these monthly bingo cards. So we're going to talk about some of the books that I read based off of that. So the first thing is, let's take a look at my bingo card. I did not read that many books this month. I was sort of in a slump, but that is okay because we are going to try better for September. But who knows, because I start work again, it might slow down even more. So we're going to go over the books that I read at the beginning of August all the way to the end of August. Alright, the first book that I read this month is actually the book of the month for August on the server, which was Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is the first book in the Chestnut Springs series, which is a romance, very western vibes or like cowboy vibes with the series. And I rated this book a 4 out of 5 stars. This is my first Elsie Silver book, and hopefully not the last. I do want to continue on and read the other Chestnut Springs books because I just fell in love with the characters. I feel like I just like breezed right through it. It's a very cute story. It's something that I didn't think I would like, but I'm glad that I read it. Next one is Crooked Kingdom, which is the second book in the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. I'm not really sure what this prompt or what the prompt was for this book. Maybe it was like continuing a series or something like that, and this was the only 5-star book of the month. I just like, I was so sad to finish it because I knew I'm never gonna see these characters again unless I watch Shadow and Bone. But it's just like, you know, even though it's only 2 books, it's like you learn about the characters and you like fall in love with them. They're like your family, basically. It's like crazy. So I'm sad that I finished it, but it's like now I just want to like reread it again and again and go on those adventures with them because I love the characters so much in the Six of Crows universe, or Six of Crows duology story. So that was my only 5-star read this month. The next one is The Bad Beginning, a series of unfortunate events, book 1 by Lemony Snicket. This was, I believe, the prompt was to reread a book from one of your favorite series, and I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. It is a kid's book. Like I said, I think the last time I read this book was like elementary school, so I gave it a 4 because of the nostalgia, and while I was reading it I was so surprised how much I remembered this book. And I also really like that the author Lemony Snicket like kind of includes like the reader in the story, if that makes sense, of like, oh, you thought you're gonna read this type of book, no, this is the book that you're reading, this is what's going down. I don't know, that kind of thing. It's still like kind of interactive in a way. So nostalgia and interactive, 4 stars. The next book that we have is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro, and this was for the prompt set in a school. And so this is about Jamie Watson and Charlotte Holmes, who are the great-grandchildren of Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson, which I don't know much of that story. Like, I know who they are, I just don't know anything about them. And they go to a prep school in Connecticut, and a murder happens, so then they're trying to solve the murder. I rated this a 3 out of 5 stars because, again, I was kind of lost, and the writing in this book was just not clear sometimes. So I mean, if you like mystery Sherlock Holmes-esque type books, you would probably really like this book. For me, I don't think I'm going to read any more of this trilogy, which I can't believe there's a trilogy for this, but it just seemed like a lot was going on, and it was very confusing at some points, so that's why I rated it a 3 out of 5. And the last book that I read in August, it was a title that starts with the letter W, and I read Where the Truth Lies by Anna Bailey. This is a thriller mystery type book as well as kind of like The Study in Charlotte. I rated this a 4 stars, but I'm kind of thinking maybe a 3.75. I don't know. It's in a town full of secrets. It's hard to tell where the truth lies. A 17-year-old girl goes missing in a small town. Not everyone is telling the truth, obviously. And so throughout the book you learn some secrets of how this might have happened, how the missing person went missing, and everything that's going on in the town. I will say there are some triggers in this book with like racism and homophobia and lots of talk about religion. So I think that's kind of why it turned me off, is the religion portion, because there was a lot to do with that and all the other stuff. So it's a really good story, like understanding the plot, but there was a lot of other things just thrown into it, like I said, that religion piece, but also like at the end it was like left to your interpretation, which I was like, just tell me, like just give me a concrete answer. So I think instead of a 4, I'm gonna do a 3.75 on that. So that's all the books that I read in the month of August. Alright, we are now going to get into the September TBR portion of the video. So if you just wanted to see what I read, that's fine, but we're now going to talk about some books that I want to put on my September TBR. So let's go ahead and put up that September bingo board. Here it is. Very fall-esque because it's officially like fall. Not really, but you know, as soon as pumpkin drinks come out, it is officially fall. And I wrote down some options that I have for each of these categories. So starting with our first category, we have a book that starts with S. And I looked already at my TBR on my Goodreads, and I found that I can read the second book. I think it's called Brutal Birthrights. I want to say that's the series, called Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark. I read the first book, which I can't think of it, not too long ago. I want to say in June. So now I can move on and read Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark. So that is my first book on my September TBR. Alright, next we have a book set in fall, and I looked up some books that are set in autumn time or fall time, and I came up with 3 books. We have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney, which is a thriller author, and I really like her work, so that's one option. We have Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson, and then 3, we have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. So these are kind of like thriller type books. So how I'm going to choose is I have a wheel that is going to tell me what book I should read. Alright, let's go ahead and check it out. Yes, okay. Beautiful music, of course. We have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney, which I'm excited for because I've read one book by Alice Feeney, and that was His and Hers. So I'm excited to read another book by her this month. Alright, next prompt is a book with a brown color, and this I had to look up again about some books with brown covers because not a lot of books have brown covers. But the 2 that I found that I either have or is interesting is Ella Enchanted, which I've seen the movie but I've never read the book, or Tuck Everlasting, which is again like a children's chapter book, and I have that in my classroom library. So we have the wheel back up. We're gonna spin 50-50 on each book, Tuck Everlasting or Ella Enchanted. Alright, our choice is Ella Enchanted, which I'm excited because I haven't watched the movie in a while, but I remember it being on like Disney Channel. So I think it would be good for me to read the book. And then maybe refresh by watching the movie afterwards, you know? Alright, for my book with a 3-word title, we are gonna do the book I got in South Carolina, which is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This book is, I believe, like a Romeo and Juliet type of retelling, but set in Shanghai. That's in China, right? So I'm excited to read this because I own it, and again, I got it for like $7. So I'm excited to read it. That's gonna be my book with a 3-word title. Alright, so I had to quickly pause and look because for the September book of the month wasn't posted when I first wrote all my notes down. So I had to go and look on the Discord server, and it looks like the September book of the month is The Brothers Hawthorne, which I believe, looking through, is a series, I believe, but people are saying that you should read the Inheritance Games trilogy before reading this. So I will put it down on my TBR because maybe I will read the whole trilogy, but I don't think I will get to it this month. Like, again, I'm starting at work again, so that's a little upsetting. I won't get into that book because there's other books I have to read before getting into this book. But it's The Brothers Hawthorne by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. That's me trying to remember at the top of my head. So, alright, the next one is a book someone you know who gave 5 stars. So I am going to be messaging my bestie Jess, who helps me like with some books. She lends books to me and I lend books to her. It's like we're bookies, I don't know, book gals, you know. So I'm gonna text her and ask her what is a book that you think is 5 stars that I should read. And I'm gonna wait to see what her response is, and we'll come back to this prompt. So while we wait for her response, we are gonna do a cover you think is ugly. So I put 2 because they were on my TBR already on my Goodreads. So we have What We Saw. I just don't like it. I don't know. I just But then we also have Heartless, but we have the old cover with the people because I don't like people on my cover, like real people. It just makes me cringe. Like those romance books with like the guys and their like abs out and they're like posing. I hate those. Ugly. So that's why I put Heartless, because the real people on the cover. But the new covers, like the mirrors, I know the mirrors are like they were like special edition. Beautiful. But the covers that are coming out now, way better than the people. Okay? So I'm not bashing anymore. I'm talking about the old covers with the people on it. Alright, got the spinner up and let's go ahead and spin. We have Heartless or What We Saw. Hopefully Heartless, so we can add a little bit of romance in here, maybe? I mean, I got some. Let's see What We Saw. I shouldn't have said anything, but that's okay. We have What We Saw by Erin Hartzer. I don't know, but that's what we're reading. Okay. Okay. Next one, a book with past and present chapters. Now this one could have worked. This Where the Truth Lies could have worked because it has past and present, but we already read it. So the 2 options that I have are The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, because apparently that has past and present chapters. I'm not sure. I googled it. If it's wrong, I'm sorry. or Inkheart, which I don't know who Inkheart's by, but I've heard of it. So we're gonna try the spinner. And then if I upload this and you tell me that these books don't have past and present chapters and you tell me a different book I should read, maybe I'll do that instead. But I just like Googled and this is what came up. All right, we are spinning. Ooh, okay. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Reid Hawkins. I think that's correct. That's what I'll be trying to read this month, okay? Okay. Our last prompt, before I talk about a book someone you know gave 5 stars, is first time author. And I thought, why not go for the big dogs, the ones that, the authors that everybody knows that I haven't read yet. And that is Allie Hazelwood, Emily Henry, and Colleen Hoover. Got the big dogs up there, okay? So, got my little spinner. I just put their first names because I'm lazy. We got Allie, Emily, and Colleen. We're gonna see what we get. And then I guess I'll just pick a book by them. I'm scared because I don't know what I want to read. Who I want to read. Okay, or Emily Henry. So I'm going to try to pick up an Emily Henry book this month. It might be Beach Read, it might be Happy Place, it might be Book Lovers. Who knows? But right now, I don't know. So I'm going to leave that to just say I am going to be reading some sort of Emily Henry book this month. So, exciting! Don't think I forgot our last and final prompt. So Jess responded a little bit after I finished recording. So this is why it's a voiceover with a screenshot, but here's the text of what is a book you think is 5 stars, and she sent me these 3 options. Strange Girl by Christopher Pike, Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan, and Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. So I decided to do Turtles All the Way Down by John Green just because I've never read a John Green book, and I think this would be a good addition for my September TBR. Alright, so that is my September TBR. Got some good books in here. Who knows if I'm going to get to all of them, but it's a good start, and it's a good motivation for me to see what books I am reading and what I'm going to, like, what I'm kind of anticipating for the month. Hopefully I can get at least, my goal is at least 3 books, but again, I'm working, starting work and all that, so it might be a little bit harder to finish books or get into books this month. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe. I post videos whenever I want. Again, I am going to start working soon, so I might be slowing down on the videos. Hopefully not. I'm just going to try to post as much as I can, or what I have. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. Bye!